Hello everyone, today I'm going to be checking out Curry Hyuga for the first time, which might just have the best Japanese curry in the entire Bay Area. Ever since I visited Japan this past summer, I've really been missing some high quality, authentic Japanese curry, and I've heard that Curry Hyuga, at least on their site, they claim that they have the authentic taste and flavors of Japanese curry. Because Curry Hyuga is so popular, I've heard that when they open at 11:30 in the morning, they're already completely full. So I'm gonna try and get there around half an hour early, so let's go. I just got seated here at Curry Hyuga right at 11:30 when they opened, and already the restaurant is almost completely full because it is that popular. I just placed my order and I decided to get every single curry on their menu since they have 7 different variations of curry, and I thought why not try all of them. But first I want to start off with an appetizer, so I got their corn and potato soup. What's pretty interesting about this corn potato soup is it comes with a side of croutons, so I guess I'll just go ahead and add those in to top it off. Alright, here we go. Here's the corn soup, and I'm looking forward to this because the last time I had corn soup is when I was on a plane. Oh wow, that is such a comforting soup. I really love the texture of the soup because it's really luscious and creamy. It almost has like the texture of a clam chowder. And then I like that they also add pieces of corn in there, which just adds a bursting sweetness and such a fun texture. The soup has got a really rich, creamy taste to it, and I love that, but I think the best part about it is the sweetness from the corn because it is so sweet, and I also love the slightly buttery taste of this as well. All of the curries just came out, and the smell is just immaculate. I can smell the freshly fried scent of the tonkatsu and the sweet and slightly spicy scent of the curry. I also love the presentation since they come out on these huge platters, so I feel like it's got a pretty cool design to it, and it looks like there's a decent amount of food as well. And I just want to start off with the chicken katsu since I feel like that's a pretty good baseline. Wow, this is a fantastic tonkatsu curry, and this is actually the pork tonkatsu, not the chicken tonkatsu. And I feel like this is a really good baseline because this is your most classic Japanese curry, at least in my opinion. The way they prepare this is so unique because you have the juicy pork tonkatsu, which is really fatty, and I love the exterior because it's not greasy at all. It's very lightly fried, and it's just perfectly crunchy and crispy. But what's interesting and that I enjoy about this is they add a little drizzle of pork tonkatsu sauce on top, which gives it a really nice tang. You can get that sort of iconic like Worcester flavor, which gives it a really nice tartness and a little bit of a zing. The curry base is also fantastic as well. What I enjoy about it is it's a little bit more salty and a little bit less sweet than your typical Japanese curry, at least the one that I'm used to. And I also like that it's got a bit of a kick because I find the Japanese curry typically isn't spicy at all, but this one definitely gives a really slight bite, which I feel like just elevates this dish and makes it all the more enjoyable and cozy. All of the curry dishes also come with a mound of rice, which is a must just to soak up all that precious curry sauce. And then it also comes with shredded cabbage on top just for a refreshing bite. And it also comes with a small dollop of potato salad and some pickled red ginger, all of which are very traditional in Japanese curry. Now I'm gonna go for the chicken katsu curry, and I always love myself some chicken katsu. All that is fantastic as well. Once again, I love the tonkatsu sauce. That is really making a difference with this curry, and I'm also really impressed by the texture of the batter because even though it's been sitting out for a while, it's still really light and crispy. And the best thing about this is the chicken is perfectly tender and juicy. It's not dry at all, and it's full of flavor. Now I'm gonna go for the fried croquet, and I'm pretty curious about this one because this is like a potato croquet, so it's just like a mashed potato mixture, and it is battered and deep fried. And I think that's going to go fantastic with the curry sauce. The potato croquet is fantastic. I mean, what's better than potatoes in a curry? I feel like the taste of the potatoes goes so well together, and it's very simple because it's just like a patty made out of mashed potatoes. And then I like this one because it's got a little bit of a thicker batter, which really holds it together. So it's got a really satisfying and pleasant crunch from all the panko breadcrumbs on the outside, and it's so tasty. I mean, I know this might seem a little small, but I feel like if you get one of this and maybe another katsu, I could probably eat the entire thing. Rice is always a must with curry, and I haven't gotten a bite of it yet, so here we go. I've always been big on having sauce with my rice, especially curry, and this is definitely no exception. I mean, the rice really just is a vehicle for all of the curry sauce, just to spoon it into your mouth, and it's so full of flavor. It is a little bit on the salty side, but man, it is quite addicting. While I'm at it, let's get a taste of our potato salad. Wow, the potato salad is so interesting because I feel like all these Japanese restaurants have a very similar potato salad recipe. They kind of have like this iconic taste of the mayo of potatoes and just a little bit of a slight onion flavor as well. And it's kind of nice to have something cold to kind of contrast with some of the hot and more intense flavors of the curry. I think it's also worth mentioning that the cabbage serves a similar role to the potato salad in the curry dish, in katsu dish, because it really cuts down some of the heavy flavors, and it's kind of nice to have a refreshing bite of this and then a refreshing bite of katsu, because I find oftentimes when I see people eating tonkatsu or katsu curry here in the States, I find that they often think that the cabbage is just a garnish, and I see that most people don't even touch it, but you definitely want to get a bite of this just with some of the curry to cut a bit of the richness. Now I'm going for my most anticipated curry dish. This is the double Meni curry. So this is Meni Katou on top of the curry, and it doesn't come with just one, but it comes with two full Meni Katou patties, which are just pork patties filled with pork and cabbage. I'm so excited about this Meni Katou since I haven't had it since I was in Japan this past summer when I got it in a little street stall in the Sakusa area of Tokyo, and I've never seen Meni Katou before here in the States, so I'm so excited about this. Oh, I think so far that this is my favorite because I'm a real sucker for some good Meni Katou. I really like this one because their Meni Katou is not overly rich, since I can tell they use like a very lean cut of like ground pork, so it is a little bit more on the dry side, but it's totally fine once you got all the sauce. It really isn't bad at all. And what I like about this one is I like the flavor of the curry because I can really taste the caramelized onion flavor of the curry a little bit more, since the meat on here is a little bit more on the subtle side, but despite that, this is still definitely my favorite. Now I'm gonna go for the vegetable curry, and this is one of their two vegetarian options, the first one being that potato croquet. So I really think that's pretty cool that they have two vegetarian options for this curry restaurant. Let's start off with the bell pepper. Wow, that is fantastic. I really think they did a perfect job cooking that bell pepper because it's not overly cooked, which is really important because it still really retains that fresh crunch that you love from bell pepper, but it's not raw either. So I think that is masterfully done. And also, all the veggies are so vibrant and colorful, you can really taste the freshness of that bell pepper. There's also eggplant, which has got to be one of my favorite vegetables of all time. Wow, I know you might not believe me when I say this, but eggplant has got to be one of my favorite new curry toppings. I've never had eggplant in a curry before, and I think it's got to be one of the best ingredients to go with curry because eggplant on its own kind of has a mild flavor, but it's really like a sponge and just absorbs whatever you put on it. Usually, most of the time, it's sauce, but when it's soaking in the curry, it's just exploding full of flavor. Finally, we have pumpkin, which is a very classic Japanese vegetable, and it's widely used in Japanese cuisine. Once again, the pumpkin is a great pairing with the curry because to me, it really reminds me of like a cross between like a sweet potato and a yellow squash. And as I already mentioned earlier, regular white potatoes go great in a Japanese curry, so does sweet potato. So I feel like this sort of sweet potato-ish flavor of the pumpkin goes really nicely in this curry. I've made it to the second to last curry, which is the Meni Curry, and this is a pork belly curry. There's big cubes of pork belly sitting in this curry sauce, and there's also a marinated egg, and I've never seen this combination before ever in a curry, so I think it's pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to it because I love myself a nice, rich, fatty pork belly. Wow, pork belly is always great, but they do it especially good here because it really tastes like it's been slow cooked for a really long time because it's so soft and tender and it just melts in your mouth. I mean, the best way I could describe it is it's literally like meat butter, just because there's such a high fat ratio just in a bite of pork belly. It almost feels like you're having half meat and then half pure fat. So it's really heavy and rich, and you're definitely gonna feel it afterwards, but man, it is so worth it. Now I wanna go for the seasoned egg, and I'm really curious about this because I've never seen egg in a curry before, but hey, I'm here for it. Oh, that is delicious. It is exactly what I thought. It just tastes like a classic marinated ramen egg. It's hard boiled, and so far I've realized that pretty much anything tastes good in this curry because the sauce is just so delicious. As long as you add any quality ingredient, it's gonna be an amazing meal. I finally made it to my last curry, and it might shock you, but I am not tired of curry so far because of how unique and different each dish is, and all of them are tasty, and this is no exception because this is the chicken karaage curry, and I love chicken karaage, which is just Japanese fried chicken. No way, I cannot believe this. This has got to be one of the best bites of chicken karaage I've ever had outside of Japan, and I'm not exaggerating. Everything about it is perfect. The batter itself is unbelievable. It's so light and airy, and the second it touches your tongue, it just disintegrates, and that's why I see that they served it on the side and not on top of the curry, or else it would just get really soggy. And it still maintains its crispiness, but it's so light and airy. I mean, I find sometimes that the batter on chicken karaage is a little bit chewy or tough, but not here. And also, the chicken is so juicy, and it almost melts in your mouth. I mean, I'm guessing they're using a really fatty cut of chicken thigh, but it works so well. You know, in fact, this chicken karaage is so good, I kind of want to have a taste of it plain without the sauce because of how tasty it was. Yeah, the chicken karaage is insane. Wow, it is so flavorful even without the curry. It's already been seasoned and marinated. It just tastes slightly salted, but you do definitely taste that it's been marinated. And I would argue you technically don't even have to have it with the curry sauce. However, I'm not going to complain adding curry sauce to it. Wow, this was seriously a fantastic feast. I'm definitely going to have a lot of leftovers for a while, but I'm so happy about it because every single one of these dishes was incredible, and I can totally see why Curry Hyuga has been hyped up to be one of the best curry shops in the entire Bay Area. Now for my favorites, and it was so hard to narrow it down to just a few because I really did enjoy every single dish immensely, but I would say one of my favorites is just the original tonkatsu because you can't ever go wrong with tonkatsu, and they certainly do it right here. But for my two real special standouts, I would say it's the Meni Katou because, again, I've never seen that before outside of Japan, and it's so delicious. You really got to try it for yourself. And my absolute favorite was the chicken karaage because I've never had chicken karaage in a curry before, and I know it might seem a little more uncommon, but it really works. And seriously, the chicken karaage here is just out of the world. I gotta be brutally honest, over the years as I've eaten at many different Japanese restaurants here in the US, I've noticed a significant quality difference between the food here and the Japanese food in Japan. But I will say here at Curry Hyuga, I am not exaggerating, the quality is literally on par with what you would get in Japan. Everything from the flavors of the curry to the quality of the meat and the batter, this seriously tastes like something you would eat in Japan. And I think if Curry Hyuga opened up in Tokyo, they'd probably be pretty successful. If you're looking for an ultimate Japanese comfort meal, you definitely gotta check out Curry Hyuga. You're gonna love their Japanese curry, and seriously, this has gotta be one of the best restaurants I've reviewed in quite a while. Anyways, as always, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give that a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.